All right. So this afternoon, we have three fundamental events we want to look at, all from the United States. By 1:30 p.m., we have the unemployment claims. By 2:45 p.m., we have the final services PMI. And by 3 p.m., there is an ISM services PMI. So let's just quickly look at the details to know what all these events, is all about. Now, the 1:30 p.m. event, that's the unemployment claims. It measures the number of individuals who filed, sorry, number of individuals who filed for unemployment insurance for the first time during the past week. And the usual effect is that actual less than forecast is good for the currency. And for the final services PMI, it measures the level of a diffusion index based on surveyed purchasing managers in the services industry. And actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. And the ISM services PMI measures the level of a diffusion index based on surveyed purchasing managers, excluding the manufacturing industry. Again, actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. So the first one, which is the unemployment claim, says that actual less than forecast is good for the currency. So what that means is that by 1:30 p.m., we have the forecast being 222K. If the actual data is released and it is less than 222K, maybe 220, 219, 200, whatever, then we'll be expecting the dollar to rally, that is, will go bullish if the actual is less, than the forecast. And in that instance, the color of the data will be color green. If the actual is less than forecast, I'll be looking at an opportunity to buy the dollar. Now, if on the other hand, the actual comes out greater than the forecast, the data will be in color red, and we'll be looking at selling the dollar. And when we talk about selling or buying the dollar, the focus is going to be on the USD JPY, USD CHF, or the USD CAD. Now, this is the first event, 1:30. The next one is by 2:45 p.m. That's like an hour, 15 minutes after. We have the final services PMI. Now, it's a medium impact event. It's a medium impact event, but nonetheless, with what is happening in the market, it can still be volatile. So for this one, the effect is that actual greater than forecast is good for the dollar, good for the currency. So if the actual is greater than the forecast, the color will be green, and we'll be looking at buying the dollar. And if the actual is less than the forecast, the color will be red, and we'll be looking at selling the dollar. And the last one is the one by 3 p.m., which is the ISM services PMI. Actual greater than forecast, color green, will buy the dollar. Or actual less than forecast, color red, we look at selling the dollar. All right, so that's the fundamental overview. But then I'll take you over now to the technicals to see what the market holds technically ahead of this event. All right, so this is my chart, my MT4 chart. We'll look first at the dollar index. Now, the dollar index is trading around a resistance level on the daily time frame. You can see we have a valid resistance, level right here. This is a resistance, and the candle for today is just around that same resistance level. All right, so that means that if the news comes out good for the dollar, that means we'll be looking for a bullish movement. However, if you have a valid resistance level here, then technically it'd be wrong to start looking for price breaking out above that, except if the news comes out really, really volatile, because our resistance level, technically, we're looking for opportunity to sell. So what should work best for this scenario is if the actual, or let me say if the news comes out bad for the dollar, then that will lead to a decline because the resistance zone is a seller's zone. So from this technical outlook, personally, I'll be looking at, us selling the dollar if that is what the news presents, to us this afternoon. That's more favorable than buying because we're already at the resistance zone. So with that, we'll look at the dollar pairs that we could trade. And the first one we'll look at is the USD CHF. Now, the USD CHF, as I said it right from the beginning of the week, that this instrument has been in a range on the daily time frame. It's been ranging for many days and some weeks now. So this is the USD CHF on the daily time frame. And you can see today's candle is already forming a rejection candle, testing the resistance level on the daily time frame. So if the news comes out not to favor the dollar, that technically will lead to a crash in the dollar and price may target the next support level. So if the news comes out as a red, that is the first news we're expecting is by 1:30 p.m. And to be honest, that's the most important of the three events we had today. It's the most volatile unemployment claims. If the news comes out not to favor the dollar, then we should be looking out for selling the USD CHF. So I hold a bearish outlook on the USD CHF. Yeah, it's a rejection candle already on the daily. In fact, it's very sharp on even on the 4-hour time frame. And the current candle is even bearish. But then it's not even the current candle that matters. It's a rejection candle in the middle. So if the news comes out not to favor, then we'll be looking at selling the USD CHF. Now, it depends on how you want to trade it. We can look at the next recent low as the possible take profit level. That should be some 30, 35 pips away from the current price. So that's it on the USD CHF. And the other one I want to look at is the USD JPY. And for the USD JPY, you can clearly see that it's also trading around a resistance level on the daily time frame. And the current candle is also looking like a rejection candle. So again, if the news comes out not to favor the dollar, we can look at selling the USD JPY likewise. So these are the two instruments I want us to put our attention on, for the news this afternoon. These are the ones that have the right technical setup for us to trade. All right, it's going to be a short one. That will be all from my end. There are many of the instruments I analyzed at the beginning of the week that has worked out in line with the analysis. At the beginning of the week, I remember analyzing the GBP USD. I said I was bearish on the GBP USD for this week. And so far, between Monday and today, this instrument, this is the GBP USD, it has dropped to the tune of 240 pips this week. Also, the AED USD, I analyzed it as one of my instruments for the week. And though this one is still kind of ranging, but if the news this afternoon will go a long way to determine what happens to it next. But so far, it has dropped about 30 pips this week. New Zealand CAD also is one of the pairs analyzed for the week. And so far, the New Zealand CAD has dropped to the tune of about 163 pips. The same thing with BTC USD. I remember I was vocal that I was bearish on the BTC. BTC USD has dropped to the tune of about 441 pips this week, in line with the weekly analysis. And so on and so forth. Many other ones that time will not permit me to look into. So if you have any technical setup you want me to check for you, you can just drop it in the comment section. I'll look at it in a few minutes as we round up. All right, so Mr. Raju is asking me to check Euro GBP. Yeah, Euro GBP is currently bullish. And the reason why it's bullish is this. You can see we have a very sharp bullish breakout today. And that's because price, is trading, price rather hits a support level from the monthly time frame. So that's what is responsible for the breakout that was experienced this morning. You can see there's a support from the monthly time frame. And now the issue now is that will the movement continue? Well, it all depends. It all depends. Though a level has been broken here, price may be targeting the next resistance level up here. That might be the next move. But I'll be very careful in making an entry because it's just so close to a potential reversal point. It's very close, except if price breaks above this region. That's when we can have, a continuation. But for now, it's already made a very, very massive breakout. You can see one candlestick on the 4-hour time frame generated about 82 pips. But so far, about 100 pips movement has been, gone on this, and this has really even gone beyond the average daily range of the the Euro GBP. So I don't expect it to make further bullish movement today. If it's going to move at all, it will be a swing. And don't forget tomorrow is NFP, so you don't have a running trade. So I will not really encourage going for a trade on Euro GBP. MK is asking me to check gold. Ebenezer is also asking me to check the Euro USD. So let's look at both gold and the Euro USD. Technically, we're bullish on the dollar. Now, for gold, I think gold might respond more eventually to the NFP tomorrow. No, that would be the major movement. So technically, I hold a bearish outlook, on the longer term for gold. You can see my setup here. But for today, whatever is going to happen to gold will be the unemployment claims by 1:30 p.m. If the news comes out bad for the dollar, then gold will rally to hit this resistance level up there. The news comes out bad for the dollar because technically the dollar is bearish. Technically dollar. So if the dollar is bearish, gold will look at the bulls. So if the news comes, except if the news comes out good for the dollar, if it comes out good for the dollar, then we should get ready for a breakout, gold. Yeah, if it comes out good for the dollar, then gold will sell. Otherwise, the news comes out bad for the dollar, we should see gold rally to the next resistance level. And for Euro USD, now for Euro USD, price is just in an indecisive state. You can see it's not really touching that support level. USD CHF and USD JPY, they've touched resistance levels, ready to sell. Euro USD is just in between. So it depends on the news by 1:30 p.m. But we are bearish on the dollar. If you're bearish on the dollar, if the news comes out good for the dollar, then Euro USD may drop to this support level and probably bounce from there if necessary. But at least if the news comes out good for the dollar, then we'll see Euro USD drop to this support level. Otherwise, if the news is bad for the dollar, then Euro USD will still find its way up. But currently, Euro USD is in an indecisive state. BTC USD, that's a Bolaji Sonny. Okay. There has been a massive movement on BTC USD already for the week. BTC already has reached Fibonacci. Okay, it's very close to Fibonacci 50. Now, I remember telling us yesterday that if BTC breaks, a support zone, it will continue further. That's still my view. If BTC is able to break the support zone, it may continue further. But I'll be careful placing some new trades today, as in after all these news events today, because tomorrow is NFP. You don't want to be caught in a negative trade. So I would say trade BTC today with a lot of caution. Currently, there is no signal. Price is ranging around this level, ranging around there. But peradventure, if it breaks, well, we may say further continuation, but to be honest, it's not guaranteed. It's not. It's not. There's no guarantee around that. For me as a person, I just want to stay out of BTC for now until after all the events of the NFP tomorrow. USD Mr. Barra already analyzed USD We are bearish on the USD We have a rejection candle on the daily and the 4 hours. So we're looking for opportunity to sell. And if the news comes out bad for the dollar, that will trigger a sell on USD GBP USD. Mr. Raji is asking about, I think somebody has to have asked about GBP USD. For GBP USD also, all these instruments have done some major moves. If the news comes out bad for the dollar, then we should be getting ready for a bullish movement on the GBP USD. Now, let me check the Fibonacci level of this GBP USD to get an insight. All right, you can see that GBP USD is touching Fibonacci 78.6. It has done its main movement. This is like a support level. So while the USD CHF is at a resistance, where we're expecting it to sell, the GBP USD is at a support level from where we're expecting a reversal. So if the news comes out bad for the dollar, we should see some bullish movement on GBP USD from this point. All right, I'll take USD card from Caleb. That will be the last analysis. Yeah, for USD cards, I said at the beginning of the week that I'm bullish on the USD card, and that is still my view because we have an ascending trend line on the weekly with a support level. And not only that, we have a pattern that looks a lot like a double bottom pattern, which can lead us to a buy. Now, let's take note of this. If the news comes out bad for the dollar, we can sell USD CHF or USD JPY. But if the news comes out good for the dollar, the best currency pair to buy is the USD CAD. I'll repeat that. If the news by 130, 245, comes out bad for the dollar, sell the USD JPY or the USD CHF. Just go to your forex factory and check the data once it's released. If it's bad for the dollar, if it's a red, sell USD CHF or USD JPY. But if it's a green, then buy the USD CAD. USD CAD is still bullish. So if the news comes out good for the dollar, then you can go ahead and buy the USD CAD. I've showed you on the weekly. We have a double bottom on the trend line. And on the 4-hour, I remember telling us this yesterday that I'm seeing a pattern that is evolving into an inverse head and shoulder, which can trigger a bullish movement. So if the news comes out good for the dollar, that might trigger the bullish movement from the USD CAD. You're welcome, Mr. Raju. All right, so that'll be all this afternoon. Don't forget tomorrow is NFP by 1:15 p.m. If you don't have a funded account, go ahead, reach out to your account manager, get the account details, and fund your account. And if you're on the platform this afternoon, you don't have an account with PU Prime, then please go to our website, www.puprime.com, and open an account immediately. You can still, meet up with the NFP live trading tomorrow. Just make sure you open an account. Your account manager will reach out to you and guide you through the verification process, through which you can now go ahead and fund and be a part of the trading tomorrow. All right, so that'll be all. Take care and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Bye, sir. Have a good day. Bye-bye,
You too.
sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.